Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video. And as you can tell by the way my mic sounds, you might be able to hear it if I turn this way. It's a little windy right now. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about some tips for good audio when it's windy, because you won't always get the best situation when you go out to film something. So as far as what microphone that I'm using right now, I'm using the Comica Boom XD microphone. It is a wireless microphone, and it comes in a set of two, so it has two transmitters and one receiver. And I have it both for the phone that I have, the Galaxy S21 Ultra, so the USB Type-C version, and I also have it for the DSLR version, which is what I'm shooting on right now. Now this DSLR version, there's multiple like little adapter cables you can use for different cameras. But this is like the microphone that I would choose and would highly recommend at any time, because this microphone is great for windy situations like this, because you guys may not be able to hear the wind at all or barely in this video, but it has gotten pretty windy here in the past, and from time to time it'll be almost like tornado type winds, almost. I mean, like 60-mile-an-hour gusts of just like blasting you in the face wind. So that's kind of like the way it is here. So I wanted a microphone personally for my setup that would really cut through that wind. So these tips are going to be kind of like all-inclusive on like what's worked for me, and just basically what I would recommend in general for anybody that's shooting video. Firstly, I will say that it is very important that you have a microphone input, because you're going to need that. So choose a camera that's good for you, that will do what you want it to, but also has a microphone input, because otherwise all of these tips are really useless unless you want to record external audio, which in that case, nothing really wrong with that, but it's like, it's not going to work too well for you in the long run. I'll just say that I did it at one point. So firstly, I will say that having a wireless microphone is the way to go. That's just like my number one tip. So if you have a wireless microphone, if you can afford to get a wireless microphone, the one I'm using right now runs around like $230, $240. So $230, $240 US. And Canada and other places that may be a little bit different, depends on your currency. But I would highly recommend this, because you can hide it underneath your jacket, which is what I use personally. So I always have like a double layer jacket on, and I can clip the microphone to the first layer and then cover it with the second layer, and that way there's only like a thin barrier between my voice and the microphone, and typically it sounds pretty good. It cuts out most of the wind noise. Now there is another option you can get, which is a hot shoe microphone, which by itself, hot shoe microphones, if you go with the Rode Video Mic Go or the Rode Video Mic Pro, there's different variations that they have for that. But if you go with either of those, you may want to install a dead cat on your microphone, which is another tip here. So a dead cat microphone, what it does and what it means is it's a very fuzzy like covering for your microphone. So if your microphone's right here, it slides onto your microphone on top of it, and it has like a Velcro, and it connects to itself, and basically it'll cut out a lot of the wind noise. Now keep in mind that if you're shooting against wind like head on and you have any kind of microphone, it's most likely going to peak, and you're going to lose some audio whenever it does that, whenever a big gust of wind comes your way. So with that in mind, try to not shoot directly into the wind. That will be my other tip, because shooting directly into the wind, you're running the risk of losing like the majority of your video or important parts that you didn't want to lose. So with that being said, just be mindful of like where you're shooting, what the weather's like, and for me personally, I've used a hot shoe microphone and I've used this wireless microphone, and they both have worked great for me. But I will say that if you want more direct audio, use a wireless microphone. And what I mean by that is, when you use a shotgun microphone or hot shoe microphone on top of the camera, it's not going to be able to pick up like specific sounds. So if you're like in a group of people, it's going to pick up that whole group of people. It won't pick up just you. The majority of cases, unless you're like speaking louder than everybody else, then it probably will work for you. But the majority of cases, like I said, just avoid situations like that if you're going to use a hot shoe microphone. But that's my other tip on there, just my experience and what I've kind of had to deal with. I have found that whenever I've used a hot shoe microphone, when it's super windy, as you guys may have seen in one of my older videos when it was in Colorado, it really about blew out the entire audio because it was so windy. So just keep that in mind. I keep hearing like a dog barking over there. You guys may not be able to hear it on my microphone, but there's a dog barking over there. Also, something to keep in mind is know what you're going to shoot. Know if you're going to be doing like a lot of landscape exploring, maybe a hot shoe microphone is not the best for you, because if you want to walk far away from the camera, like hot shoe microphone is not going to work too well. I will say that because I've tried it. I've tried to speak far away, and basically when you have a hot shoe mic, the microphone's on the camera, so you can't really have it on your person unless you build some kind of like rig or hook it to your phone and record that way, which I have done in the past, but it's not really, it's not a good idea. It just doesn't work that well. So what I mean by this, and I'm going to present it in this video, and you guys have seen this in other videos, but with this microphone, I can walk all the way back here and you guys can hear me just fine. So this is great for if you're exploring someplace and you want people to see, like the landscape, and you're talking and you're kind of like in the background exploring, walking places and whatnot. This is great for that. Now this microphone has a range, I believe, of like 200 or 400 feet, something like that. So it's for most use cases, it's very, very good. So I don't know how the interference is right now though, because that is something that comes with wireless microphones, is interference, and I'm around a lot of metal buildings, so hopefully the audio sounds okay. But basically, my point here is be mindful of where you're at. Know the limitations of the equipment that you're using, because there are limitations. So for wireless microphones, that may be interference. If you're shooting like downtown with a wireless mic, it may not work the best for you, but for me, this is the only mic that I bought for this camera, so it's all I have, so that's all I'm going to use. But for you, you might want a hot shoe microphone. You might want to be able to just go wherever and vlog places, and you may not need something that you can get far away from the camera and still have good audio with. You may not need that. So it really does depend on what you're shooting. With that being said, hopefully if I've conveyed my message in today's video. I've been trying to get a little bit better at my vlogs. Everything is raw on this channel, at least for now, so I'm not doing a lot of like cuts here and there unless it's something that is a professional shoot of some kind, because there are some shoots that I have coming up, or at least that I have ideas for. I don't know if I'm really going to pursue them or not. We'll just have to see on that. But yeah, just like I said, overall, be mindful of where you're at, and if you're around like a lot of people, yeah, maybe you might want a lot of people and their voices heard, because there is actually a limitation with the wireless microphone as well, where it's like it's directed to me, like everything I say is going to be picked up, but if someone's like next to me, it may not pick them up as well, and if someone's like 6 feet away from me, it may not even pick them up at all if I'm talking. So keep that in mind. Like if you want to shoot videos where there's a lot of people around, I don't really know like which scenario this would be for you. Maybe like if you're at a concert or something, or like a wedding or something. I'm not too sure. Just keep in mind that these microphones are very like directional. Like this microphone is not going to pick up people around me most of the time. So you'll have to wire up the other person if you're doing like an interview or like a duo video with someone else. You're going to have to hook them up to another microphone as well. And I have 2 microphones on this setup right now. So I have another spare one that I don't use right now, but if I ever need to interview someone, or for instance shoot like a documentary or some kind of video about someone's life, it comes in handy to have extra stuff. So that's what I will say for the last and final tip. Have extra supplies, like have like a backup just in case something doesn't work right. That is if you can afford it. Now for me personally, I am relying heavily on this working like 90% of the time to like 95% of the time, just like working most of the time. Typically this microphone will be pretty good for that. It hasn't really let me down at least not that many times. So I'm pleased to say that this microphone is going to be my main microphone for quite a while. It's just there's so many use cases I can use it for, and I don't know, like I like it. So I'm rambling at this point, so I'm going to end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I see a trash truck over there pulling in, so I guess it's trash day today. So with all that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully you picked up something out of this video that is very helpful for you. And yeah, I will see you guys as always in the next video.